watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
It's a beautiful Sunday afternoon, and in the shadow of the old bat, which used to stand alongside the old stadium, it is time for baseball as Hyundai presents the Sunday game of the week. Today, it's the New York Yankees against the San Francisco Giants in the rubber game of a three-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees Baseball, along with Paul O'Neill and Ken Singleton. I'm Michael Kay. Well, the Yankees lost a tough one yesterday, 12 innings by a score of 2-1, and they used the back end of the bullpen for the second day in a row. We'll get into that a little bit later on. Now, this was a homestand, Paul, which ends today, that the Yankees really had to declare themselves. Would they be buyers? Would they be sellers? Well, over the first 9 games, they're 5-4.
Yeah, they're kind of status quo. I mean, they have teased throughout the homestand. Offense shows up one night, doesn't show up. No doubt about it. Yesterday was a devastating loss. Is that enough to trade? Is that enough to buy? I don't know. I mean, obviously, do they have an opportunity to come back? Can Alex Rodriguez have a good second half? Can Teixeira? It'd give the Yankees a completely different offense. A lot of questions still to be answered with a week left to the deadline.
Let's check out the pitching matchup for the rubber game of this three-game set. Brought to you by People's United Bank N.A. See what know-how can do for you. Jeff Samardzija will get the start for the Giants. And for the Yankees, it's Nathan Eovaldi, 8-6 with a 4.93. If you take a look at the Yankees starting rotation during this homestand, not too bad, especially Tanaka, Nova, and Eovaldi. Pineda 1-1 with a 4.09. Sabathia pitched better than that ERA of 6, and that's today's home field advantage presented by Lowe's. Now get back to Eovaldi, Kenny. Last time out, he returned to the rotation, actually pitched pretty well.
Well, he pitched out of bullpen on 3 occasions, but it was Tuesday against the Baltimore Orioles here at Yankee Stadium, and you're right, he did pitch very well. He went 5 1/3 innings, got some defensive help from Didi Gregorius, turning a double play here. And his splitter, well, it was bad. That's what he was looking for, working out of the bullpen, and he did a good enough job. He tired a little bit later on in the ball game, went 5 1/3 innings, but the Yankees scored enough runs for him to get the win. In fact, they won 7-1.
Now, Joe Girardi admitted today that Eovaldi has to give him length. Why? Because no runs DMC, they might not be available. Who is available to close the game? Meredith Maragovitz has more when we return. For Girardi, it's a real head-scratcher.
Could sure use some length from starter Nathan Eovaldi this afternoon. Joe Girardi told me he's going to be pretty limited when it comes to his bullpen. Dylan Betances, Andrew Miller, and Aroldis Chapman, all guys that Joe Girardi expects to stay away from, and for good reason. They all pitched on back-to-back days, and take a look at the numbers. They've had to pitch a little bit harder, or work a little bit harder in those outings. The pitch counts elevated a little bit, and Chapman went 2 innings yesterday, so don't expect to see any of those guys. Should Eovaldi get in trouble, Joe Girardi did say that Chad Green is available out of the pen. He can give you multiple innings. And as far as the closer is concerned, should they need one this afternoon, he said, well, that is still to be determined. It'll most likely be based on matchups. Plenty more to come here on the Yes Network. When we get back, Nathan Eovaldi gets the ball. Michael Kay with the call. He'll be joined by Paul O'Neill and Ken Singleton after the break.
This is the rubber game of this 3-game set, and also will decide whether or not the Yankees have a winning record on this 10-game homestand. Now we will have a ceremonial first pitch, and why don't we listen to Paul Olden, the Yankee PA director.
When he captured the 2016 Masters Tournament. Please welcome, to throw out today's ceremonial first pitch, Masters champion, Danny Willett.
Masters champion, Paul, would you take that?
You know what? I'd love to have that as a secondary to World Series championship. But I tell you what, is that fun to watch every year? And what a neat thing.
Now let's see. He's going to go from the rubber. Yeah.
Well, first of all, he's from England, so I'm sure he hasn't played all that much baseball.
Oh, that wasn't so bad. Right on the outside corner.
Pretty good. So Danny Willett, the Masters champion, with the first pitch. Pretty nice. All right, so Nathan Eovaldi will take his warm-up tosses, and we'll take a look at the Giants starting lineup. Giants coming at 58 and 39. And they'll lead off their center fielder, Denard Span. Angel Pagan in left field will bat second. Hitting third, playing first base, Brandon Belt. Buster Posey, the DH, cleans up. Batting fifth, playing shortstop, Brandon Crawford. Connor Gillespie, The third baseman will bat 6, batting 7, playing right field. A big part of yesterday's game, Mac Williamson. Ramiro Pena at second base will bat 8th, and batting 9th and catching, Trevor Brown.
There's Nathan Eovaldi. He's getting a start for the Yankees today. A winner on Tuesday, as we mentioned in our open. He beat the Baltimore Orioles. Today it's the San Francisco Giants. There are his numbers on the season. 104 innings, 82 strikeouts. He's allowed 19 home runs. That's a career high. Let's check out our pitcher scouting report brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. Back on the fast track. We mentioned the fact that he beat the Orioles on Tuesday, and he was back using his fastball more. Of course, that fastball gets up there at 97 plus, and he leads the Yankees in victories with 8. And these are not numbers for this year, but this is for his career. He's only had 23 attempts against him as far as steals are concerned, and 12 only been successful. He's got a great move to first base, and he gets rid of the ball quickly, so they don't even attempt to steal against Nathan Eovaldi very often.
All right, so Eovaldi is ready. Some sunscreen on Bruce Bochy. And we are almost ready for baseball. Yankees head on the road after this game. Giants will head home. Yankees will go to Houston for 3, and then St. Pete to play the Rays for 3. So Denard Span is ready. Nathan Eovaldi is ready. And let's do it here in the Bronx. And the pitch is the low and away, 1-0. Chris Guccione is the home plate umpire. David Rackley at first. Alfonso Marquez at second. And the crew chief, Larry Vanover, is over third. Fouled away.
Right away, you see that power fastball, 98 miles an hour. That's what you're used to seeing out of the bullpens these days. But the thing about Eovaldi, he can sustain that 6-7 innings. Still throwing at 98 later on in the ball game. Strong young man.
And again, he came off the weirdest start we ever saw against Baltimore. He literally shut them down and looked unhittable for 4 1/3 innings, and the next inning just completely lost and ended up going 5 1/3 and getting the win. But like night and day. Michael, you said it, that can't happen today. The way the bullpen is, he needs to find his groove early and keep it.
And Joe's reaction today when asked how much he needs Eovaldi to give him length, he went, oh boy.
No sugarcoating that
no.
one.
2-2. Grounded to second. Castro's there. One away. Why don't we check out the Yankees defense presented by Geico. In the outfield, this is the same deal as yesterday. Gardner, Ellsbury, and Hicks left to right. In the infield, Headley, Gregorius, Castro, and Teixeira. Third to first, McCann behind the plate. Eovaldi on the mound. So Beltran will DH, and once again, Alex Rodriguez sits on the bench. So here's Pagan, who did something or didn't do something yesterday you're not going to see very often. Dellin Betances was trying to throw an intentional walk and threw the ball over the head of McCann. Pagan was at third and never scored. Got a lot of nasty looks from his coaches and manager.
He made some good plays in the outfield. He was the one who made that diving catch when McCann went around second base. So the good and bad of a game, and it's all good when you break a losing streak the way they did yesterday.
Grounded up the middle. Castro gets in front of it. 2 outs.
And you mentioned the good and bad of streaks. Well, the Giants had lost 6 in a row. That was their longest losing streak of the year. Twice this year they've won 8 in a row. So they've been on the good side more often than not.
That's going to bring up Brandon Belt. He's in a little bit of a slump. 2 for his last 30.
You know, I was just thinking, though, after these first couple games, Brandon Belt's nights are a couple good at-bats off the starters, and then an at-bat off Chapman, and then a bat off Miller.
Yeah.
I mean, those are just tough nights for left-handed hitters, especially when you're not feeling good at the plate.
That's almost like a week of Jesse Orosco for you, right?
Or now you brought back bad memories in the first inning, kid.
All you have to do is mention Ron Guidry to me.
1-1 on Belt. Yankees actually had a 1-0 lead in yesterday's game, and the Giants ended up winning 2-1, and it was the 30th come-from-behind victory for the Giants, which is the best in Major League Baseball. All of last year, they had only 27 come-from-behind victories. So a resilient team, a tough team, kind of mirrors their manager.
Their future Hall of Fame manager, we've already decided,
yep.
huh?
3 World Championships. 10, 12, 14, and this is an even number year. Swing and a miss. Belt down on strikes. A 1-2-3 inning for Eovaldi. Giants nothing, and the New York Yankees coming to bat. Same as yesterday. Left fielder Brett Gardner leads off, batting second. Playing center is Jacoby Ellsbury. Carlos Beltran, the DH, will hit third. Cleaning up the catcher Brian McCann. Starlin Castro at second base will bat fifth. Batting sixth, playing shortstop Didi Gregorius. Mark Teixeira at first base will bat seventh. Batting eighth, playing third base Chase Headley. And Aaron Hicks in right field is going to bat ninth.
Jeff Samardzija on the mound, 31-year-old right-hander, 0-1 in his career against the New York Yankees, and this will be his 20th start of the year, looking for his 10th victory. 94 strikeouts, 122 in the third innings. He's allowed 17 home runs. A little bit more on that in just a moment. Let's check out our pitcher scouting report brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. How about cheer for old Notre Dame? He was an All-American wide receiver in 2006, and he set records for touchdowns caught in the season and receptions in the season, yards receiving. He was just a great. A lot of people thought he was going to be a wide receiver in the pros as a football player, and he's innings eaters in the top 10 in the National League in innings. And see ya. His last 8 starts, he's given up 12 of those 17 home runs.
It's interesting, though, Kenny. He's 31, and people say that he's much younger for a pitcher because he only started pitching full-time in 2012. He became a starting pitcher. So he's a young 31, at least arm-wise. Well, Johnny Cueto there turning his back on the batter.
I consider you a young 55. Young 55.
Yeah, I'm going to speed limit.
Absolutely. Not in the passing lane either.
No. Right lane, both hands on the wheel.
Boy, I'd be getting tickets.
Well, mentally, I'm an infant 55.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. 1-1. Fouled away.
We mentioned the fact that they thought Samardzija was going to be a pro football player, but it was his older brother that actually convinced him baseball was the better way to go. It was a little less hard on the body.
Longer
career.
Yeah. Probably.
He played baseball and football at Notre Dame.
Well, it was really thought of that he was going to be a football player. There he is, pitching for the Irish and wide receiving for the Irish. And that's why he went the 5th round for the Cubs in 2006. And if he had just been a baseball player and people didn't think that football was a threat, he probably is a top 15 pick in the 1st round. That's how highly thought of he was, but no one thought that he would play baseball, and the Cubs ended up giving him a $7.25 million contract as a 5th round pick.
Yeah, I bet that chap, the 5th and 6th round pick, that probably signed for $500,000. Huh? I tell you what, though, I agree with you, Michael. I think you are seeing a little Johnny Cueto out there with that complete body turn, really kind of holds the. It's a hitter. It's just deceptive. You don't pick it up.
Yeah, but you're thinking about those previous picks, Paul. None of them had a touchdown catch in each of their first 8 games of the season.
They don't know anything about winning one for the Gipper.
No, they don't.
Boy, what a traditional, just proud alma mater school.
He really invoked the name of Bo Jackson and Deion Sanders and really was going to try to do both, but the way the seasons overlap now, it's just impossible.
Yeah.
I mean, the football season starts at the beginning of September. You can't miss September as a baseball player.
Training camp's open this week.
Yeah.
Well, the weather's cooperating. We're at 97.
Oh, that's a lot of fun.
3-2 to Gardner. Spoiling a lot of pitches. So an 8-pitch at bat so far.
Well, you mentioned that he was drafted by the Cubs, came to the big leagues with the Cubs, but he actually last year pitched for the White Sox. Didn't really work out all that well on the south side of Chicago. He led the American League in hits allowed, earned runs allowed, and home runs allowed. So had a chance to sign with the Giants, and the Giants said, "No, this guy eats innings. That's one thing he does. He's been over 200 innings each of the last 3 years."
Fly ball. Left field. Pagan makes the play. Why don't we check out the entire Giants defense presented by Geico? So we'll start with Pagan in left, Span in center, and Mac Williamson over and right. Infield, Gillespie, Crawford, Pena, and Belt third to first. Brown behind the plate. So Marja is on the mound. Well, the Giants were very decisive during the offseason because they really, really wanted Zach Greinke. And they offered dollars that were somewhat commensurate to the big dollars he got with the Arizona Diamondbacks. And then the Diamondbacks gave a little bit more, and Greinke went there. Ground ball to second. And Ellsbury's out. And right away, right after they did it, they lost out on Greinke. Boom. They offered Samardzija 5 years, $90 million. He grabbed it.
Well, you take Samardzija, you take Cueto. I mean, Cueto looks like a genius. I mean, you saw what he did yesterday. What was 13-2 going into the game? I mean, that's a game changer for our organization. And then you look on the other side, Greinke having some health issues now, right?
Here's Carlos Beltran.
You can see what the Giants were thinking. Not only could we get Greinke away from they get him away from the Dodgers, let alone get them for themselves. You know, so
a double signing. High fly ball, right field. Williamson back, track, wall, see ya! A home run for Beltran. Number 21 on the year. RBI number 62. And the Yankees lead 1-0.
Boy, you really can't say enough of the type of year that Carlos Beltran. It hasn't been just one hot streak. It's been a consistent day in and day out performance. Joe Girardi, if he had 5 or 6 of those in this lineup, they wouldn't be talking about trading anybody. I mean, just good at bats. Stays there, stays on top of it, and just how quick that bat gets through the strike zone.
Samardzija allows another homer.
And McCann with a ground ball to the right side, and that will do it. But the Yankees get a run in the first. 1 run on the Beltran home run. Hits it to the short porch in right field. And when it lands, the Yankees have a 1-0 lead. brought to you in part by Hyundai. The latest lineup of cars and SUVs you'll find at your local Hyundai dealer aren't just new, they're better. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by GMC, we're professional grade. Learn more at GMC.com. 1-0 Yankees as we go to the second. Buster Posey leads off. He's the DH today. Takes a ball from Eovaldi. How about the Giants with their DHs? 13 for 28 this year. That's .464, the best in Major League Baseball. And one of the times they had a chance to use a DH, they went with Madison Bumgarner.
Yeah, they were talking about that coming into the series. Obviously, it did not happen. But you know, the Giants, they're an everyday good team. They haven't played that great in the field. But look towards the end of the year when they get healthy, you might be looking at one of the World Series teams here in Yankee Stadium right now.
Well, maybe if that vote comes up in the future for the National League owners to think about the DH, maybe the Giant owner will say, hey, yeah, we'll do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of the times, like this afternoon, it's Buster Posey who gets the opportunity to DH. It's Bruce Bochy gets a chance to get him off his feet from behind home plate and still has him in the lineup. You can't do that in National League.
I was talking to Bochy today, and I said, well, kind of a frustrating series for Posey. He's had good at bats. One at bat he fouled off. He missed the second game, but nothing to show for it. A couple line drives the other way.
Grounded up the middle, grabbed by Gregorius. One away.
Certainly one of the faces of baseball. Be on many all-star teams, and who knows down the road. This is a Hall of Fame Sunday. Might be seeing Buster Posey making a speech one day.
He's off to a good start to it, no doubt about it.
And he's already got his own rule.
That's right. He's got the Buster Posey
That's
rule.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Not
right.
the blocking the play rule. That's Buster's rule. You got a rule, you got to go to the Hall of Fame.
I had a couple rules myself. No throwing helmets, no throwing bats.
Broke those rules all the time. Crawford fouls it back. You know, I look at the third base coaching box, and you know, the Yankees are so good at commemorating milestones and things like that, that I hate to say that, I think they kind of missed the boat. Because the third base coach for the Giants, Roberto Kelly, he had his catcher's interference rule broken by Jacoby Ellsbury. I mean, there's a ready-made pregame ceremony right there. So Ellsbury has 9, breaking the record that Kelly had of 8. Could have been a great moment.
Unforgettable, huh?
He could have had like a catcher back there, and they tipped his, you know, catcher's mitt. Fly ball left field. Gardner puts it away. 2 down. Let's look at the game time weather presented by Bigelow Tea. 91 degrees. Humidity is 39%. Wind, not much. It is mostly sunny. That's the forecast.
Hot, I'll tell you that. Ball carries well.
We're going to Houston.
Oh, so it's
going to be hot.
Yeah,
kind of getting you warmed up.
This is frigid compared to what it will be like in Houston. Here's Gillespie. Cubs made a move today. Joe Nathan, who's been rehabbing from surgery, he's been called up to go into their bullpen, and they sent down Adam Warren to the minor leagues.
Adam Warren had made a start for the Cubs a couple of weeks ago. He'd been used both as a starter and as out of the bullpen, much in the same way he was used with the Yankees.
So Eovaldi, no problem with velocity. 98, just missing off the corner. And, you know, this is the type of power pitcher that obviously Joe Girardi knows that he has. It's the off-speed stuff that makes him effective.
As a line drive to right field in front of Hicks, a single for Gillespie.
That's a kind of a day game, looked like break from Hicks, not really picking up the ball. Sometimes you lose it in the shirts. Ball kind of hung up there for a while.
You look at some teams' lineups and the players that have gotten to the major leagues. You see sometimes their thoughts about the draft. And the Giants have a lot of players on their team, including Mac Williamson, who are college players. Williamson went to Wake Forest. You have Posey, Florida State. You have Belt, University of Texas. So college players, the thought is that they're more big league ready. It's not going to take them quite as long to get the big leagues as high school players will. But it's all in the thoughts of organizations and how they go about drafting players and who they're willing to give the big money to.
And on the flip side, some organizations are somewhat reticent about drafting college pitchers.
Yeah.
Because, boy, do they get used. So you just don't know exactly if you're going to have a ticking time bomb when it comes to the arm. Line drive, a base hit off the bat of Williamson.
This guy's a good hitter.
He's had some good at bats. I mean, it's funny when like your stars don't have the biggest series. Sometimes you start to notice some of the other guys that can really step in.
Drove in both runs for the Giants yesterday in their victory.
Tell you, remember those days where you'd go home and when your hits really mattered to the winning or losing. I mean, you can go 2 for 4 and really have nothing to do with the game, or you can go 1 for 4 and driving that winning run, and you just go home feeling like you really accomplished something.
Now I just go home.
Now we go home and look where we're going to go to dinner. That's about it, right? But there's enough daylight to go hit a bucket of balls. That's about it.
Here's Ramiro Pena. Swing and a miss.
Pena's done a pretty good job substituting for Joe Panic, who's out with concussion symptoms. And Pena was signed by the Giants as a minor league free agent, former Yankee. Got to the big leagues with the Yankees, but he played last year in the Padres organization in West Texas in El Paso. Hit .308 last year. And he's hitting .329 here in the big leagues this year.
Yeah, he's made some good plays defensively too, and you could plug him in a lot of different positions. He's one of those guys that Bruce Bochy, especially in the National League, you need guys that can fill in at different positions.
Yeah. Bench players have to be versatile. They can be used as pinch runners. They can bunt.
Swing and a miss.
We talked about Eovaldi being on the fast track. His first inning had 11 pitches. 9 of them were fastballs. So it appears he's going back to the heat.
There's nothing better than getting through the lineup your first time with really 1 pitch, and then you can introduce the next pitches, and then by the 3rd at bat you still have something left.
A good ratio.
Hit sharply, but right at Castro. And Eovaldi works out of trouble. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left. We go to the bottom of the 2nd. 1-0 Yanks. Toyota RAV4 Hybrid is the official hybrid vehicle of the Yankees. Should the incident with White Sox uniforms influence the team's decision to keep or trade Chris Sale? Bronx Project says no, this appears to be an isolated incident and it is not something to stress over. Follow Yes Network and tweet us your responses using hashtag Yankees RAV4 Hybrid to keep the conversation going. Well, the latest news is he was suspended for 5 games for insubordination and destroying property. You know, a lot of people don't realize, Kenny, you and I were talking before the game about this. You don't own the uniform. It is owned by the team. Yeah. And he didn't like the throwback uniform and just cut him up. It's almost kind of childish what he did.
Well, he was supposed to pitch, yesterday and didn't want to wear the uniform. And the White Sox ended up using other throwback uniforms. They went to the 83.
And this is on top of Sale really lacing into Kenny Williams, the head of baseball operations, over the LaRoche situation where they wouldn't let Adam LaRoche's kid be at the ballpark every single day, and Sale just aired out Williams publicly. That one is chopped to short. Strong throw by Crawford. Castro's out, but when you're that good, it's hard to draw the line. So they suspended 5 games. That essentially means that he misses 1 start, and he'll start against the Cubs.
Well, the thing about it too, they're talking about trading him.
Right.
You shouldn't do it. If you're going to do it, you shouldn't do it right now because you're not going to get what you want for him. Everybody thinks you just want to get rid of him.
You should not do it out of spite. If you want to trade him, you can trade him, but don't trade him because of this.
Yeah. You're still going to get the max offer from somebody if you're going to get Chris Sale.
And I believe, Kenny, that every Saturday, the White Sox market Saturday as a throwback uniform day. And so that, for those that don't know, the uniform he was supposed to wear, it really was the ugly uniform, the dark blue one.
I remember those.
Yeah, I think they were worn with shorts, but they weren't going to wear them with shorts yesterday.
Yeah, but I was so glad I wasn't playing for the White Sox in those days. There was a question I read. Didi has to jump out of the way. They said, what are you going to do with all those throwback uniforms? They're going to put them on sale.
Yeah. You can sell jerseys as 2 or 3s because they've all been cut up.
They might not put them on sale. They'll make Sale pay for them.
Yeah, let's.
I mean, would something like that be? That divisive to trade a guy of his stardom?
But I mean, it is pretty childish what he did.
Yeah, absolutely.
But he's a great pitcher. You put up with it.
And you're not exaggerating. I mean, he's not good. He's great.
No, he's
one
great.
of the top 3 or 4 guys in all of baseball.
And he's got a very, very team-friendly contract. You get in trouble in high school for cutting up your uniform.
That's the kind of stuff you do in high school. You would figure it'd go into the major leagues, but yeah, absolutely.
Get in trouble for cutting up in class.
One, 2. Edie hanging in there. With Sale, I talk about the team-friendly contract. He's making $9.15 million this year, $12 million next year, $12.5 in 18 team option, and $13.5 team option 2019. Laced into left center, but Pagan is there to make the play.
Ball was slicing back in his direction. At first, when it was hit, looked like it might get to the gap. But looked like Pagan almost overran it.
Tell you what, off the bat, Kenny, as a hitter, you get high hopes, and all of a sudden,
no, not this time. Made it look easy.
Here's Mark Teixeira. 1-0. Interesting.
Tex going to the White Shoes. He liked Johnny Cueto's yesterday so much he stopped at Modell's on the way and picked up a pair.
Now, I'm not the keeper of the rules, but something tells me that that's against the rules with the Yankees. I don't think they allow their players to wear white shoes.
You know what? Sorry, Candy. The only thing I can think about possibly if there might be some protective stuff in there. Who knows? Because you know he has had some issues with feet and shin.
Didn't Gardner wear some shoes that the Yankees didn't approve of?
And I think Didi did too last year. That one's driven out to right center. You can wear those shoes, baby.
Those shoes are good to go at this point.
See ya, home run. Mark White shoes to Shera, and the Yankees lead 2-0.
Shoes are made for track.
That's amazing how quick things turn. I mean, yesterday you just were waiting for that big home run, and you know, to share this is the second home run of the homestand. You can only hope and dream that it's a start for him in the second half.
Ninth home run for Teixeira. Remember Billy White Shoes Johnson?
Yes,
absolutely.
I do, yeah.
You know, it's funny how
200th home run for the Yankee first baseman.
Funny how nicknames kind of grab your attention when you're a little kid. Billy White Shoes. I do remember that.
Houston Oilers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great touchdown dance. And Headley loops one and caught by Crawford. Nice play by the shortstop, who's had a rough series for the final out of the second. But the guy with white shoes makes the baseball fly deep to right center field. His 9th home run of the year. When it comes down, Yankees lead 2-0. The driving matters. Orioles in first. Red Sox a game and a half back. Blue Jays 3. Yankees 7.5. And the Rays 18.5. Trevor Brown takes a strike from Eovaldi as we start the third inning. A couple home runs for the Yankees. One by Beltran and one by Teixeira. And the Yankees have a 2-0 lead, building a picket fence on the scoreboard. One in the first, one in the second. 0-2. Chop just over Eovaldi, fielded by Castro, and he gets Brown for the first out.
Well, again, those second basemen and that little side throw, much tougher for a first baseman to pick up the ball down there. So lucky that this ball got over Eovaldi and he didn't tip it up in the air or off target, because it was right at Castro.
Castro's been busy. That's his 4th assist in the early going here.
Here's Span. Pitch outside. Now, those are the feet of Jacoby Ellsbury, also wearing the white shoes.
When does he come up again? Oh, next inning.
Knocked down by Teixeira, or knocked him down, and he holds on to make the play at first. Remember the Oakland A's that won 3 championships in a row, the swinging A's of Charles Finley. He wanted them to wear white shoes. They wore white shoes.
Did he pay them to wear mustaches too?
Yes, he paid them to grow mustaches.
See, but it's really a tough job keeping those shoes clean.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness, Bat Boys.
This day and age, you can wear a new pair every day if you want to, though. It can be spotless. Used to amaze me that the amount of shoes and boxes you would see in Derek Jeter's locker.
He'd have an extra locker just for the shoes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, when you're Derek Jeter, the shoe company's not holding back.
Nah, they want their label out there clean.
Still 0-2 on Pagan. Two 2-0 Yankees. We're in the top of the 3rd inning here at the stadium on a hot Sunday afternoon in New York City. Swing and a tip into the glove of McCann. A 1-2-3 inning for Eovaldi. We'll go to the bottom of the 3rd. Yankees up by 2.
Somebody in all the years from being 3 climbing up my mom's wall till now, it was the first time that I ever robbed somebody, and it was just like, oh, you can let go and laugh.
Well, he could laugh a lot. He had joy playing baseball, and he is being inducted into the Hall of Fame, which leads us to the greater coverage of baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. So Ken Griffey Jr. and Mike Piazza, right about now, are getting inducted into the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. Griffey, you know his story. Mike Piazza, 62nd round draft choice, and you know his story as well. And the guy that Griffey robbed of a home run, Jesse Barfield.
Kind of get the white shoes now, because if you really get in depth.
Aaron Hicks grounds it up the middle, a base hit. So Aaron Hicks with a leadoff single in the third.
You really get in depth on the shoe, as you see right here. This was what Nike came up with as Ken Griffey's kind of arc of his swing, and that was kind of his label trademark. So maybe it's a little bit in honor of tribute to Ken Griffey going to the Hall of Fame today. Pretty cool.
The first #1 pick overall to get to the Hall of Fame.
I remember going out to hit batting practice in Cincinnati one time, and they said, well, we're not gonna hit for a while because there's a high school all-star game going on the field. And then we all heard Ken Griffey Jr.'s playing in it, and all you have heard from Moeller High School was how good and how big of a star this kid was going to be. And so you kind of walked out just to see it, and you talked to a few guys, and Griffey shot one up in the bleachers like he'd been in the major leagues for 10 years. And you know, he was just born for stardom, no doubt about it. Grew up around the ballpark, so it was no big thing to him.
I heard Ken Griffey Sr. say something that was interesting, and a lot of sons of ball players always get credited, the dads get credited for the kid's stardom, and Ken Griffey Sr. said it was all my wife. He said I was on the road all the time.
Absolutely.
He said she was the one taking him to games and telling him how the swing was and things like that. There's a strike to Gardner, 0-2. I mean, when you're in this business in any way, shape, or form, a lot of the burden of raising the children goes to the wife.
I'm starting to hear a lot of the stories now that my kids are a little bit older. I remember when Mom used to do this and do that. I'm like, I don't remember this. I was on my way to the ballpark.
The 0-2, grounded to second. There's one on to first. They double up Gardner. So 2 away.
Gardner's tough to double up, as Michael was kind of alluding to there. It's only the second ground ball double play he's hit into this year.
I wonder if a lot of these, and there are a lot of names, and it's all rumors. It really is all rumors, and it's you know, it's intelligent guessing, I guess you could say. There are a lot of guys rumored to possibly being traded. And this is the last home game before the trade deadline, and you wonder if it's going through their minds. Is this the last game I'm going to play at Yankee Stadium in a Yankee uniform? You've heard Gardner's name, you've heard Eovaldi's name, you've heard Chapman and Miller and the like. Beltran as well. Is it in their head this could be their last game playing here? Ellsbury hits one to center field. Nice jump by Span. He runs it down for the final out of the third. No runs a hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. Let's go to the fourth. Service delivers everything you've come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. Includes a free subscription to At Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Brandon Belt takes outside. 1-0. Audi scoreboard. Yankees 2-0. A home run by Beltran, a home run by Teixeira.
Got rings there, Michael?
Yeah.
I like that billboard here. Got rings?
Got rings.
Means something when you're driving into Yankee Stadium, right?
We were talking about the trade deadline. Of course, the players do move after the deadline on waiver deals.
Remember, we blocked a trade. It was Jose Canseco.
Yeah,
I think somebody was trying to pick him up, and then
I remember that.
We blocked it. Well, you know, he ended up not even really being a factor, being a guy on the bench for us, but, you know, kind of blocked it, didn't want him to go somewhere else.
Yeah, and if you block somebody and the other team says, okay, you got him now, then you're stuck with the contract. So there's a little bit of a gamble there.
Was it he going to Boston?
I think he was going to Boston. That's probably why we blocked it.
Well, I do remember him hitting a shot into the upper deck in left field at the old Yankee Stadium. I do remember that.
So let's go to Meredith Moragovitz. And what's the Yankees' state of mind with all these trade rumors hanging over their head?
Well, Michael, Joe Girardi was asked about it earlier today, and he said it was evident yesterday he is not worried about what his roster is going to look like after the trade deadline. He's simply concerning himself with the task at hand every day, and that's winning the game. One guy whose name has been brought up a lot is Aroldis Chapman. Girardi went to him for 2 innings yesterday. Now, Chapman has been asked a lot over the last week, even 2 weeks, about whether or not he thought he would be traded, if he wants to be traded, and he simply said, I like being a Yankee. My job is to perform for the Yankees right now, and that's all I'm worrying about. And that seems to be the general consensus when you talk to guys in the clubhouse, whether it be a Carlos Beltran, a Nathan Eovaldi, or an Aroldis Chapman.
Well, it's part of the game, and it's your job as a professional is to go out there and play. And although you know this might be in the back of your mind, you can't let it affect you once you get on the field. Now, I was traded twice, but none of them were a trade deadline.
Yeah, during the season.
I was traded in the offseason both times.
Which totally different because you have time to get your mind adjusted to the change.
Line drive to center field. It's a base hit for Posey. And the Giants have runners on first and second and nobody out.
Well, Buster Posey, you know, sooner or later one of these line drives was going to find a hole. He's just too good of a hitter. This ball just smoked right back up the middle. Like that line drive back at the middle, right at the pitcher. Okay.
Make him think about it. Won't throw it there anymore.
So the Giants had 2 runners on in the second, but that was with 2 outs, and now it's first and second. Nobody out here in the fourth for Brandon Crawford. Oh, a strike.
Crawford leads their team in runs batted in. And he's been hitting near 400 with runs in scoring position lately.
Right in on the hands and foul back.
It's a pitch right there with Eovaldi's velocity. If he can, you know, kind of bottle this one once in a while where you kind of cut it in on lefties, it just ties you up. You see where that ball hit all the way up by the label.
You know, to me, this is an influence pitch, too, because the hitters are conscious of being jammed. So they want to be quick. They want to be quick enough to force that ball out of there. Now that opens up almost the whole outside part of the plate. A good splitter here would get him.
Oh, a high fastball.
How about that?
A heater at 96. Yeah.
Up and away.
See, McCann even wanted that ball farther away, but he ended up there. It had a good tail on it towards the end. And we keep talking about how good Crawford is, and I think he's going to be happy to be leading in New York. Defensively, offensively, has not been his best series, but one of the elite shortstops in the National League.
They head back home. They take on the Cincinnati Reds starting tomorrow night.
It's always fun. This time, Cincinnati, not one of the better teams. A lot of trade rumors going on in Cincinnati also. Surprised Jay Bruce, their right fielder, is having a good year, is still there.
They've been talking about trading him for a couple of years.
Yeah, this year he's actually hitting, which makes the trade rumors even more hot.
Pitch is low and inside to Gillespie, 1-0.
Another player out of a college program, Wichita State, All-American. Played at Cape Cod League, which is, you know, I guess one of the premier wooden bat leagues for college players. He was the MVP one year.
Must be an awesome way to spend your summer.
You know, I was thinking that, yeah, my nephew ended up doing that. You go, you live with the family, you work a little bit, you play baseball, what, 4 or 5 nights a week.
Yeah, my son went there and played in that league, and they give you a job during the day. Yeah. You ride around Cape Cod playing baseball against some of the best players in the country. There's a ton of scouts there. One night I was at a game, and Bill Giles, the president of the Phillies, was sitting next to me. We talked baseball the whole night.
What kind of ballparks are there, Kenny? Really small?
No, they're, you know, the regulations. They're like high school fields, and but they play all their games at night, so they are lit. And it's you know, in a setting of Cape Cod. I mean, it's a lot of vacationers are out there, and besides the families of players who come up and stay for a while, and it's just a great atmosphere.
Swing and a miss.
And my son Justin played for Chatham, which is a great town. In fact, he liked it so much when he got a dog, he named his dog Chatham.
And 2-run lead. Obviously, you don't want to continue to dig yourself a hole. You got to challenge him right here.
Three-two. Ripped down the right field line, foul ball.
Funny, Kenny, you get in these positions, 3-2, big pitch in the game. All of a sudden, you know, you've got everything, your concentration, boom, the rip foul, Michael, and then all of a sudden you have to reboot it. Just start the whole process over. Hitter, stay in the strike zone. Pitcher, need to throw a good pitch here or there. So you know, it's easy to just let it start to snowball, you have to be able to stop it, get back to it, stop it, get back to it, or you end up making a mistake.
Yeah, Michael was right, though, that first time there were 2 men on in this game, that there were 2 outs when they reached, and Eovaldi was able to get out of it. He's had a 1-2-3 inning, 2 men on, a 1-2-3 inning, and now again 2 men on. So every other inning he's kind of struggled.
And now he's loaded the bases. That's what you see from Eovaldi as Larry Rothschild will come out. He could be as dominant as any pitcher in the game from one inning to another, and then boom, something gets out of sync. We saw it last time, Paul, what, in the 6th inning or the 5th inning? Fifth inning. It's hard to explain how he just gets out of whack so quickly. No rhyme or reason.
Just kind of gets out of sorts as far as where the strike zone is and pitches in deep counts. And you're right, Michael. When he's ahead, then those off-speed pitches are going to be much more effective for him. But he always has that fastball to rely on. But you get in fastball counts and you get to young hitters that don't mind fastball counts. You're going to give up some hits.
Williamson's been the Giants' best hitter in this series.
They always seem like the best hitter, the hot hitters up in the big situation.
Fouled away.
We were talking about college players. There's another one, Wake Forest.
A lot of research here.
Well, you find out where these guys come from. And he led the ACC in home runs one year. So ACC is a pretty good league. Clemson, Florida State, Virginia, North Carolina. Some good baseball programs. Wake Forest is known for Tim Duncan.
Oh yeah, still.
Two and two.
It's kind of the pitch Eovaldi needed right there. It looked like he got Williamson on his heels, kind of looking in, and was still able to foul this fastball back. All of a sudden now, Michael, what we talked about early in the game starting to appear. Pitch count. With the 63rd pitch coming up now.
Yeah.
Well, they need length. They have Chad Green, but trying to avoid that. The 2-2. Bases loaded. 2-2 count, 1 out. Eovaldi deals. This is outside. No place to put Williamson.
Both of them grinding away here, Eovaldi and Williamson in this at bat.
Popped up. Teixeira makes the play. Second out, big out.
You got him on a big out and a pitch that you didn't suspect, and it was kind of a backup slider. away from the fastball. See, not a lot of bite, just kind of backed up.
It wasn't a great one, but he got the desired result. That one looked like it kind of fooled Williamson. He wasn't looking for that. He was looking for the. When the pitcher throws as hard as Eovaldi does, you're looking for his best pitch, and that's his fastball, and he fooled him, even though it wasn't a great one. Still not out of the woods yet, though.
Now, when you look around and bases are loaded,
you're deep in the woods.
Yeah. The path out with 2 outs, but you're still in trouble. See, just in and out, just off the corners, not able to throw those corner pitches right now where he can get ahead. He threw the ball by Pena, his first at bat.
One of the problems for Eovaldi today, only less than half the hitters that he's faced have seen a first pitch strike. And we saw that the other day with Tanaka, and what he was just first pitch strike one, first pitch fouled off another, strike. He just continually ahead of the hitters. Tanaka was 19 out of 24 the other day, first pitch strike.
One swing and a miss. What is that pitch he's throwing at 94? Is that a cutter?
Yeah, he has cut. The second pitch was way in on his hands. You see him around the baseball a little bit. That one actually didn't have a lot of action to it, but he is trying to mix in a cutter, and he actually sailed one away and moved that fastball both ways.
.98 foul back.
And you see the movement of that. It's 98 and kind of up and away. So he is trying to move the fastball in and out.
It's your basic emergency swing right there. Just hoping to spoil it.
Foul back.
Again, a sailor away and then a cutter in. Pena's been able to spoil a couple of them. That was a good pitch right there. That usually gets you a jam shot to the infield. He was able to foul it back. Just under the hands, right off the label.
Grounded foul outside of first.
That's another thing that cutter will do, Kenny. It's such a tendency of lefties. You hit the top of the baseball right down on your shin or your knee.
Let's see where this gets him.
Oh, right off the knee. Mariano was just great at that. Lefties, time and time again. Because of the movement in, you kind of come around and then you try to stay on top, and it goes right down. This Mo brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer, right off the kneecap with the dragonfly going through the picture.
Bases loaded, 1-2. Hit sharply to second, down on one knee. Castro, and Eovaldi works into and out of trouble. No runs a hit, and 3 men left on base. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Yankees' first ever Star Wars night. There'll be a special Star Wars theme throughout the night and appearances by some of your favorite Star Wars characters. In addition, the first 18,000 guests in attendance will receive a special R2-D2 Yankees knit cap. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. That is a good look for you, Paul.
Matches the weather. I got some pre-orders on this.
Yeah.
This is going to be a hot item. I put it on Kenny because it would fit on Michael's head, but we'll go back to the next pitch.
Wow. Wow. So what does that say about Bruce Bochy? Here's Carlos Beltran, homered his first time up.
That thing will come in handy with December and January.
Cool thing.
Yeah.
So the home run by Beltran was his 21st of the year, his 413th of his career. And that passes Alfonso Soriano for sole possession of 52nd place on the all-time list. Audi scoreboard shows the Yankees up 2-0. Up next for Beltran is Darrell Evans, who hit 414. And he's the first player with 100 or more home runs with 3 different teams. Darrell Evans, Braves, Giants, and Tigers. And now there are 5. We've got Reggie, A-Rod, Jim Tomei, Adrian Beltre, and Darrell Evans.
Big-time names on that list. Beltre hit another one yesterday.
Three and one on Beltran.
Meanwhile, the Yankees 2 runs today on the home runs by Beltre and Teixeira, and we told you Samardzija's been giving them up lately.
Three and two.
You know, it's funny is you think about all the trouble Eovaldi's been in and how he's gotten at it. You think, you know, the Giants are winning this game, and you forget about the 2 home runs, and then you look at the scoreboard. Hey, the Yankees are up 2-0 here.
Swing and a miss, chased a pitch up and away. 1 out. Here's Brian McCann. And a strike. One and one.
I mentioned yesterday about McCann being more hot and cold this year rather than the consistent type of year, and he is going to get his 20 home runs. He's got 14 already, but he wants to get that batting average up a little bit more.
Popped up, shallow right center. This man makes the play. You see the Giants struggling now, very apparent, playing bad defense. This road trip has been tough on them. 1-6, averaging just 3 runs a game. And the bottom line is they're not whole. Hunter Pence is so important to them. Joe Panik, even though Pena's done a nice job filling in, is an important factor in what they do. Duffy, an important factor in what they do. I mean, those are big-time players that are out with injuries. Now, every team goes through them, but that's one of the reasons the Giants are slipping a bit.
Yeah, Pence is he'll be back pretty soon, though. He had a had a double in a rehab game. Yeah, he'd been bad. He was their cleanup hitter.
Yeah, and he's the energy also.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a high energy player. They got a lot of people feed off of, kind of their team leader, really, other than Buster Posey. So you know, guys like that go down, you know, you do miss them, not just for what the numbers they put on the field.
And certain guys walk into the clubhouse, the energy level goes up.
Absolutely.
And Hunter Pence is one of those type of guys. Let's see if he goes on this.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's a little too far for David Rackley, though. First base umpire.
My vote doesn't count.
Nah, not like it used to.
He could not hold up, so Castro goes down. Yankees go down in order 1-2-3. We're going to go to the 5th inning. Yankees are up in this one 2-0.
Well, maybe the parrot.
He gets walked. We go to the 5th, 2-0. Yankees lead, and Trevor Brown leads off and takes a strike on the Cadillac scoreboard. It's 2-0 Yankees. A couple of solo home runs for the Yanks. Beltran and Teixeira. It'll be 9-1-2 in the Giants' order against Eovaldi. Eovaldi had a tough inning in the 4th. Didn't give up a run, but worked to get out of it. So you see if that affects him here in the 5th.
Yeah, that's usually the case. You know, pitchers have to use so much energy to get out of major jams that sometimes it affects them later on in the ball game. And used a lot of pitches in that inning.
Eovaldi's not a type of pitcher that can, you know, throw a sinker here or there to get an easy out ground ball. It seems like he has to work for every out. Even as good as his stuff is, you know, he'll throw a lot of fastballs by people, a lot of split fingers out of the zone, and before you know it, you know, you're having 5, 6, 7 pitch at bats.
Grounded up the middle. Gregorius. One away.
Ball was hit off the end of the bat. It looked like you know, it was headed to the middle, but he didn't hit it hard enough to get it through. Did he quick enough to get over there near the bag and make the play? Kind of off the end of the bat. You hear that sound? It sounded like a wet Sporting News.
You see that bounce 4 or 5 times before it gets to shortstop. You know, it wasn't driven very hard.
Here is Denard Span.
We just saw Brown go back to the dugout. It kind of reminds me of one of the best nicknames I ever heard, and it was a Giant player. Remember Ollie Brown?
Ollie Brown, I know that.
His nickname was Downtown Ollie Brown because in Fresno one year he hit 47 home runs.
Grounded to Castro. Span jogs to first, 2 outs.
Great nickname.
So 2 away, and here is Pagan. Pitch inside to Pagan. Today's pitch count brought to you by the Acura Summer of Performance event. 81 pitches for Eovaldi, 52 strikes, 29 balls. That adds up to 81. Inside third and down the left field line. Pagan will go for extra bases. It kicks away from Gardner, allowing Pagan to go to third. And the throw is cut off by Didi. So 3 bases for Angel Pagan.
See a lefty to be able to slap that ball down the line. Hard to defend, and all of a sudden that funky kick right there. Nothing Brett Gardner can do. Good news is there's 2 outs. Eovaldi has an opportunity to get out of this. To hit something sticking out there. Not using his third base coach, but keeping the ball in front of him and seeing what's happened. You can react much quicker than you can react from the third base coach.
It's his 3rd triple of the year.
There's Belt. And a strike. Oh, 2.
By the way, we looked up Downtown Ollie. I gave him a few too many. He hit 40 that year in Fresno.
You know, I wouldn't have corrected you.
Yeah, but
that's a lot of homers.
But I knew it was 40-something. That's still a lot of home runs.
So he's more like Midtown.
Yeah.
He wasn't going way down.
No, way down.
Just on the outskirts.
But the oddity in his career, he hit 102 home runs in the minor leagues. He hit 102 home runs in the big leagues.
Is that right?
The 0-2.
Good job by McCann. I mean, that's the one thing about having a man on third base, and you call that split finger. You got to realize that thing could be a 58-footer right in front of the plate. And believe me, after what happened yesterday, Pagan's going to be off of third base looking to score on any wild pitch.
He's certainly got a better lead now than he did yesterday. One thing about these giant hitters, Joe Girardi alluded to it yesterday, they put tough at bats on the pitchers. I mean, they foul pitches off with 2 strikes, and they're not really what you would say call a big home run hitting team, but they're a grinding type hitting team.
Very tiring for pitchers. A lot of long counts, a lot of foul balls.
2-2. Pagan leads off third with 2 outs. We're in the top of the 5th. Yankees up 2-0. Number 3 hitter in the order, Belt at the plate. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Got him. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. At the end of 4 1/2, we're halfway through. Yankees up by 2. The Pine Tar game. Brett hits a bomb off of Goose. They measure the pine tar on the bat. They say, oh, too much, and you are out. And George Brett was slightly upset. Eyes bulging out of his head. So he was called out. And then it was ultimately overturned by the American League office. They had to come back at a later date and replay the rest of the game, which the Yankees ended up losing. Now, Kenny is a fairly mellow guy. I can only imagine how you would have reacted, Paul, if they took a home run away from you.
I mean, how often do you take Goose deep in Yankee Stadium and then?
Unfortunately, Brett did a lot.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, to take that away from you, I absolutely love the play, and it's why it's a classic. It's why we're still seeing it. And
I let my manager do the arguing. He would still be out there arguing.
Cadillac scoreboard 2-0 Yankees, bottom of the 5th.
Brett came out of the dugout, shot out of a cannon. He's a great hitter, man. He could hit.
He was one of the guys that when I was traded over from the National League to the American League that I couldn't wait to play the Royals to watch him hit. I mean, he had that good of a swing.
Just to watch him play. There's certain guys when you play against them, and he was probably the #1 for me. To play against him, and I wish that guy was on our team. You know what I mean? He was really, really good.
Yeah, it is funny you say that because there are some good players that you just you don't like them because they're good and they're against you. But there's guys like Brett. Mattingly was kind of like that. You know how good you are, people still like you because you play the game right and you're just likable people. You don't like to see you come up in big situations because you end up beating you, but just admire him from afar.
Popped up, left field. Pagan is there. Ball had a very odd sound coming off the bat.
It's kind of when you lose the grip of the bat, and it's just there's no tension there.
George Brett, 21 major league seasons, all of them with the Royals. Won the MVP in 1980. Just hit 390 that year.
I think he missed by 3 or 4 hits of hitting 400.
1985 World Series champion, was the ALCS MVP, and 3 batting titles.
Michael, you've said many times, you know, Bobby Mercer was kind of your idol, the guy. Do you remember some visiting players that came in that you would especially come to a game to watch play?
I mentioned yesterday Vida Blue was really special, and when Reggie was with the A's and players like that, like seeing the Orioles come in. Love to watch Freddie Lynn, yeah. Jim Rice.
Brett was actually 5 hits away from hitting 400 that year.
Realize Brett didn't have great speed either. I mean, that's a clean 390 right there.
He wasn't exactly a slowpoke. He hit a share of triples. I remember a story one night. Earl Weaver decided to pitch to him in a clutch situation late in the game, and he got a hit that drove in the runs. The base was open, and he pitched to him. When we came back to the dugout as a team, we were all on one end of the dugout and Earl's at the other. We were all screaming, "Are we trying to win the game?" What are you thinking? And he was sort of cowering in the corner like.
I bet Earl took that well.
No, well, you know, when you got your whole team screaming at you. I mean, he screamed at us enough. We got a chance to get him.
Two. Rounded to first. Belt flips to Samardzija just like a wide receiver. Kept his feet in bounds. 2 outs.
Looked like he was a big target, about 6'5". Down and out over the middle.
You know, his football mentality actually got the best of him. Got a good break, running a nice route, perfect pass, and stayed in bounds. It played against him when he first started playing baseball in the big leagues because he was playing like football players play, with that aggressive mentality, and sometimes you have to back off on the mound. You can't just bulldog your way through it, and they had to kind of teach that, coach him out of it. Nickname at Notre Dame used to be Shark, but not because the name was Samardzija. Somehow they got Shark out of that. They say he looked like the shark in Shark Tale.
I don't see it, but continue to study.
There's another movie I got to watch.
That's Michael. He's seen them all.
Do you go to movies, Paul? Do you have the energy to sit there for free? No, now.
It's too easy to watch them at home now. But
yeah, it is.
Used to be like the automatic date night when you were in high school and stuff. You go to a movie.
Watch them at home now. You're not seeing new releases, though, unless you've got connections.
Over the years, I've missed a lot, so they're new releases to me, right?
There's a strike, 2-2.
You ever see that movie, The Godfather? I mean, it's a really good.
Yeah, just saw that, didn't you? Citizen Kane's coming out soon. Swing and a miss, and Headley down on strike. So Samardzija pitching much better against the Yankees in order in the 5th. We'll go to the 6th. 2-0 Yanks. And we have the Jeep Hitter Scouting Report.
Now, Michael, is this a great progression or what?
Let's see.
The first round pick in 2008.
All right.
Rookie of the Year in 2010. MVP in 2012. That's what you want your #1 picks to turn out to be.
Yeah, but he didn't do anything in 2014. That's pretty good.
I think the Giants will take it, though.
How about this? Catchers, highest career batting average, a minimum of 3,000 plate appearances. #1 is Mickey Cochran, who Mickey Mantle was named after. #2 is Bill Dickey at 313. Cochran was 320. Joe Mauer is 3rd at 310. Posey's 4th at 308. And Mike Piazza, who was giving his speech as we speak at the Hall of Fame, 308 batting average. Pretty nice company there.
Think about Piazza, he hit more home runs than all of them. Not only was it a hit for average, he hit for power.
Strike to Posey, 2-1.
Posey leads the Giants in home runs with 12. And that's the lowest leading total on any major league team. So the Giants aren't really a home run hitting team.
Nice hop there for Gregorius. He stayed with it. It was a little higher than he thought, but it was right there in his eyes and one away.
What they call these, Paul, a Sunday hop?
Yeah, charity hop. And you know what? They're good when you're playing back.
Yeah.
Well, if that hits right in front of you and comes up, completely different play. Just take it for granted about Didi day in and day out. I mean, he makes the plays, great throw. He's just become so much better that you expect it now. I mean, it's a good thing for the Yankees. It's one pitch right there that he's given a lot of lefties trouble with that cutter inside. Watch what just happened there, and Crawford is kind of in between, having a kind of a tough series. He wasn't ready to hit right there, and Eovaldi is, you see, he's ready to push the issue, and as a hitter sometimes you don't even collect your thoughts, and now you're 0-2.
The last one was 98. That would have gotten by a lot of people.
A good cutter inside.
Fly ball into center field. It's going to dunk in for a base hit. Sounded like a broken bat for Crawford, but he picks up a single.
Again, good pitches, and he just got beat by a broken bat flare. And he got ahead 0-2, made a good pitch. He tried that cutter again, and it just stayed there a little bit. It's enough to just break a bat.
It's just Crawford's second hit of this series. You mentioned he's kind of struggled. He's made more errors in this series than he has hits.
I can't tell you enough, though, the type of player he is day in and day out.
Much better player than that.
Just going to say that bat won't make the trip back to Frisco. A lot of these guys they're going to jump on a team plane. Well, that bat won't be with them. It's a crack bat. See you later. But they died a hero.
One on, one out. Pitch count is up there. No one's up in the Yankee bullpen now. Somebody is stirring out there right now, but Girardi needs more from Eovaldi. And we talked toward the end of last night's game, started out the afternoon game, why that was such a tough loss. Because when you are going to empty that bullpen and not get a win out of it, obviously you get a loss that night. And then it impacts today your ability to win this game because you don't have that bullpen for today. So that was a super tough loss for the Yankees yesterday.
Yeah, every game that you have in your palm of your hand that you need when you're in this situation.
And Gillespie down on strikes, 2 away.
And obviously, what was the 10th inning? They had bases loaded. Kind of fly ball, base hit, game over.
You know, sometimes you see teams play these real long extra inning games, like 19, 18, 17 inning games. That affects that team for the next few days before they can get everything righted and get back on track, because usually you're calling up guys from the minor leagues because the pitchers, as Michael said, the bullpen's overused, and sometimes these pitchers aren't as good as the guys you're sending down.
You know what's amazing to me, Kenny, as you look and you say that, it's how much your body knows how much it's changed. You go out and play 9 innings day in and day out. That's what you're accustomed to. You play 12 or 13 innings. You come out the next couple of days and you're just like
a little stiff,
a little lethargic. Just you've gone by what you've trained for and gotten accustomed to.
One and one on Mac Williamson. Mac Williamson was involved in all 3 runs yesterday. Home run, RBI single. His error in right field allowed a run to score for the Yankees that would not have scored if not for that error. So all 3 runs he was involved in. Now the count 1-2 on Williamson.
He takes a big swing.
I don't know how you hold it, but the backup slider, which is usually kind of a pitch you didn't finish, it's not what you want to do. He's had good success with that backup slider today. See, watch this, not much break. It actually goes back into the right-handed hitter.
Two and 2 on Mac Williamson.
Oh, he hit the target there. He wanted that high fastball out of the strike zone. McCann kind of reading what he thought he would get him to go fishing, but now 2-2 will make it happen here.
Chop back to Eovaldi. And he has pitched 6 shutout innings against the Giants. No run to hit. 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the 6th. 2-0 Yanks. Buick for yourself at Buick.com. By People's United Bank NA, thumbs up for quick balance with Touch ID on your mobile phone. And by your Tri-Honda dealers, hurry to your local Tri-Honda dealer for great deals on the 2016 models. The M&M Boys.
Well, here we go. Mickey Mantle and Willie Mays, 2 of the iconic baseball players of all time. Mickey Mantle, of course, a great Yankee Hall of Famer. Willie Mays, a Giant Hall of Famers, two of the greatest center fielders to ever play this game. And you can see the numbers are just, well, Hall of Fame like, to say the least. And both of those, they were youngsters when they broke in back in the 50s. Both of them, Willie Mays with the Giants across the river, and of course Mickey Mantle across the street at the old Yankee Stadium with the Yankees, and both became just household names.
You know, one of those numbers on those comparisons that you showed, Kenny, that really haunted Mickey his whole life was a .298 batting average. Because he hung on at the end, he was injured, and he just kind of played the last couple of years, and he said, it just kills me. I'm not under 300 hitter, but he finished at .298.
Well, you saw the 536 home runs. That's more than any other switch hitter has ever hit.
You know what was amazing to me is I was watching the World Series where they had, you know, on the big screen before the game, and I didn't realize, I knew Mickey Mantle had that horrible injury to his knee out in left center field. That was that his rookie year?
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was that early in his career, which affected him his whole career.
It was Mickey and DiMaggio converging, and he hit a
sprinkler head or something.
A drain. Yeah.
So his whole career was kind of changed, and he was still, you know, one of the best players to ever play the game.
Yeah, one of the fastest guys, and it was Willie Mays who hit the fly ball.
James has sent that over. 1951 World Series on a Willie Mays fly ball.
You know, and it's one reason why you don't see drains in the outfield anymore.
Yeah.
Special drainage systems. The water from rainstorms just goes right through the grass.
Count 3-2 on Aaron Hicks. Hicks is 1 for 1 today. Singled up the middle in the 3rd inning. Something in the eye of Hicks. Still nobody up in the Yankee bullpen, so Eovaldi's over 100, but again, Girardi needs more. The 3-2.
Michael could tell you, well, that back in those days, there were arguments all around New York City who was a better player. And they throw Duke Snider in there. Dodger fans would throw Duke Snider in there, who also is a Hall of Fame center fielder. Great times to be a baseball fan in New York City. 3 very good teams.
I mean, you talk about a generation. I mean, do you know how many Mickeys are running around because of Mickey Mantle? I mean, people name their kids after you. I used to joke to Don Mattingly because I had a friend who was a big Mattingly friend that named his dog after Mattingly. I said, you know what? Mickey had kids, and you've got dogs, so just stay down there on the end of the bench, Cap.
And Hicks with a walk. Well, there's a lot of connection with these two franchises, the Yankees and the Giants, and here's why. This is a 1924 shot, how close to Polo Grounds and Yankee Stadium were. 0.7 miles. Then we get to 2016. The old stadium disappears, now a park. Now the new stadium and the Polo Grounds are an apartment building complex. Wow. Right over there. Must have been very easy travel for those at World Series. You could walk. Runner goes. Slapped into center field. It's a base hit. Hicks slowed down. Now he picks it up and goes to 3rd. So the Yankees have runners on the corners and nobody out here in the 6th.
Now, we've been talking about this all year. Hicks has kind of struggled with the bat, hasn't been getting on base all that often. But one thing he does bring, he can run a little bit. I mean, last year he stole 13 bases for the Twins. And I'm not so sure that was, you know, it might have been a straight steal.
You know what, Kenny, I don't mean to interrupt, but we saw this again yesterday. When you're stealing a base, whether it's a stolen base or a hit and run, after your 3rd step, you were taught 100% to pick up. That kind of is the timing of where the ball gets to the hitter to pick up where the ball is going. Again, Hicks had no clue where that ball was going. He figured it out later. So much easier if you peek in as you're going to read whether there's going to be a play on you at second base
or where you can follow the baseball to go on to third.
I just checked again. Hicks does not have a stolen base this year. Somebody can run that well.
Grounded and grabbed by Pena. There's one on the first. They double up Ellsbury.
Oof.
And Hicks scores, and the Yankees lead 3-0.
It's a tremendous double play, and there's the defense that Bruce Bochy's accustomed to seeing with the Giants. Pena does a good job. Crawford comes in right and gets off a good throw this time.
You know, we've seen Pena make good plays when he was with the Yankees.
Yeah.
That's why he was on the team, because he was capable of playing second, short, and third, and flashing the leather like this. Looked like it was going to get through. No, from his knees, he gets it over to Crawford on the belt, and they turn a 4-6-3 double play on another tough guy to double up.
Watch how quick Crawford, the transition to get rid of that ball.
With something on it, too.
And you see shortstops and second basemen with that new slide rule. They can really stay in there and make that strong throw.
So in one game, we've seen the Giants double up Gardner and Ellsbury. Two difficult guys to double up. Two-one count on Beltran. Carlos is 1 for 2, a home run in the first inning, his 21st of the year. 2-2. Well, Samardzija certainly has pitched better than he has of late in his last 9 starts. 2-3, 6.14 ERA. So he's given up 3 here in 6 innings. 5 2/3. 3-2 on Beltran. Ripped into right field. It's a base hit. Williamson bobbles out and right, but Beltran will stay right there. A 2-out single for the Yankee DH.
Let's talk about a different sound. We were talking about the crack bat. Well, you can also tell the sound when it's hit right on the barrel with somebody who's swinging the bat well. It's just right on the screws. I mean, Carlos Beltran, this whole homestand, has had great at-bats.
That's his 29th multi-hit game. That leads the Yankees. He's had some kind of season.
Here's McCann. Rip foul. By the way, in the years they've been together since Ellsbury came over to the Yankees as a free agent, it's the first game that Gardner and Ellsbury have hit into a double play in the same game. We're in the bottom of the 6th. Yankees lead 3-0. Rubber game of this 3-game series. One and one. Samardzija sets at the belt and the pitch. Can could not hold up, and the count 1-2. Bryant's 0 for 2 today. Boys, he's struggling. 2 for his last 25. And his average at 232. Still, though, leads major league catchers with 14 home runs. Two and two. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Gardner singled to move Hicks to third, and then Hicks scored on the Ellsbury double play grounder. Beltran leads off first. 2-2. Backdoor misses, 3-2. So that's going to release Carlos Beltran. Beltran goes. Served into left field. It is a base hit. Beltran's heading to third. The throw is not in time. It's a tough throw because with the shift on, Crawford was trying to make the catch on the throw from Pagan as he was backing up. So good base running by Beltran. Really, no one was at third.
Yeah, well, the whole idea with these shifts, infielders have to make quick adjustments, and Crawford was the only one over there to cover third, and it's, as you can see, as the throw comes in, he's not even on the bag. So Beltran's in there safely. The Yankees have runners at first and third with a couple of outs.
And here's Castro. Castro's 0 for 2. Now he's 1 for 3, and he picks up an RBI as Beltran comes home. McCann will stop at second. They throw behind him. He gets back. An RBI single for Castro, and it's 4-0 Yanks.
Yeah, a little 2-out magic. 3 straight hits with 2 down. Looked like the double play diffused the inning, but not so.
The slider, kind of a breaking ball that it hangs there. Samardzich's got a good slider. It has, but he hung that one. Castro's had a good homestand. He's been swinging the bat well. Big opportunity there and a big run for the Yankees.
So Righetti comes out and talks with his 31-year-old right-hander. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the aforementioned New York Yankees. So first and second, 2 outs, and here is Gregorius. Yankees lead 4-0, putting up a 2 spot here in the 6th, still not finished. First and second, 2 outs. Didi has to skip rope.
I think that was really that close, but he wasn't taking any chances.
Samardzija deals. Driven to center field and deep. Going back, span. Still back, turning, looking, and he's going to play it off the wall. And over the wall and into Monument Park. It's a double for Didi. McCann scores. Stopping at third is Castro. And the Yankees lead 5-0. And that is going to do it for Samardzija.
The Giants might have caught a little bit of a break because I really think with 2 outs, Castro would have scored on that ball.
Well, Bruce Bochy makes the Verizon call to the bullpen. It falls apart for Samardzija here in the 6th. Yankees lead 5-0. All of that adds up. The Yankees 5, Giants nothing. Samardzija now will play spectator as George Contos comes in and tries to work out of further trouble. Samardzija has left runners on second and third, so the 5 runs, that's not complete yet. Second and third with 2 outs, those are his responsibility. Castro at third and Gregorius at second. Contos, a former Yankee, this is his 35th game. Nicely was traded to the Pirates in the Chris Stewart deal and ends up here in San Francisco. Pitch outside to Teixeira. One and one to Teixeira. Home run in the second, his 9th of the year, and then he grounded to first in the 5th. Contos deals. Popped up. Shallow left center. Pagan makes the play, and that'll do it. But the Yankees scored 3 runs on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits and 2 men left. We go to the 7th. Altuve and the Astros pregame coverage on Yes starts at 7:30. Then come back after the final out on Pix 11 for Yankees extra innings. Then on Tuesday, Yes has complete game coverage starting at 7 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
And by the way, Altuve has 2 home runs and 5 runs batted in today.
So he's getting it out of his system. They lead the Angels 8-0. GMC scoreboard 5-0. Yankees lead the Giants. There's my buddy Don LeGretton shoveling food into his mouth.
You sent him down to Boston. Wife's a big Giants fan.
That's
sporting
right.
The stuff there, huh?
So they've seen 5 Giant games this week.
Not too many wins. Been a tough road trip.
And that's a good husband because he has no interest in the Giants at all.
Or the Yankees, really? He's a Mets fan.
He's a Mets fan, yeah.
That got a piece of the home plate umpire Chris Guccione.
Got some interest in that popcorn. Sorry,
see where it got Chris.
Was it underneath the mask? Let's see.
Ooh,
oh
boy.
Just right in the nape of the neck there. Right underneath that little guard that hangs off the chin. So that.
I mean, it probably got the pad right there and kind of shot up. But you remember why they changed that? Was it Yeager?
Yeah.
In L.A.
Yeah.
Steve Yeager. I think that was a broken bat.
Right.
The short of the bat flew into his neck. But he didn't. Did he just have that flap down, Kenny? That Yeager had? I don't think he did.
No, he did. There's a little
like a wire thing.
Wire thing off his mask at the very bottom of it, but it didn't cover that area. There's, areas that are exposed, but somehow baseball fit in that one. Looks like he's going to be okay, and we're happy to see that. Chris Guccione hanging in there. There's the foul tip.
Well, at times like that, the old American League balloon umpire protector, that seems like the better bet. But boy, that must have been hot on a day like this. Back then, in the National League, they had the inside chest protector, and in the American League, they had the balloon chest protector, and it actually affected there was a difference in strike zone.
Strike zone was higher in the American League.
Pena lines one to center field, a base hit. Girardi would love to get this inning out of Eovaldi. There's action in the Yankee bullpen. He's chasing Shreve. Now, Joe plays it very coy before the game. He said, I don't think I have Betances, Miller, and Chapman. Didn't say he definitely doesn't have them, but you would think he wants to stay away from them at all costs.
Well, Eovaldi's already thrown a season high. That's his 110th pitch.
I'm just thinking you might have Betances throwing left-handed, Miller and Chapman throwing right-handed, because the last couple of days in multiple innings for Chapman. I mean, you just have to know that these guys are not going to be part of this game.
Check swing. And David Rackley said he did not go.
Rackley says no, he did not go.
One on Trevor Brown. Fly ball, right center. Hicks is there to put it away. Well, this is what the Yankees back end of the bullpen has done the last two games. 37 pitches for Betances, and the media asked him after the game yesterday, could you have pitched another inning? And he looked at him and he said, what, are you trying to kill me? Andrew Miller has thrown 42 in 2 innings, and Chapman was extended 2 innings yesterday, so 3 innings over the past 2 games, 53 pitches. So yeah, they'd really like to stay away from them. Now they have enough arms out there, but those are the arms they trust. The front end of the bullpen has been a work in progress all year long. Here's Span. And a strike.
Well, the whole idea is to score some more runs to make it the moot point as to who you bring in. Yeah, just.
Well, the 3 and the 6 help a lot, as it's 5-0 now. And the 0-2. Strike 3. Denard Span down looking. Now, Eovaldi is at 115 pitches. His career high is 120.
Oh, is it a strike by the book? Yes, but you just don't see that pitch called. And it's just in the high part of the strike zone, and as a hitter, you give up on that ball.
Too close to take.
Now, one thing that Girardi could factor into keeping Eovaldi in here for this batter is his next start. He'll have an extra day of rest. Thursday's an off day between the Astros series and the Rays series. Pitch inside. 1-0. The career high of 120 was August 19th last year against the Twins. You see the breakdown of pitches. The fourth inning really is only high pitch inning, 33 pitches in that inning. And that was when the Giants had runners on first and second and nobody out. But he kept them off the board. 1-0. 1-1.
Still getting it up there. 95 miles an hour. But we talked about it earlier in the game. He can sustain his fastball. Even after a career high, what close to a career high, 117 pitches.
I'll tell you one thing, if you look back at what's happened, he's been able to keep the lefties with that cutter. And here it comes again right there. Comes at the base hit this time.
Cutting over is Hicks. He bobbles the ball. Pena will stop at third. It's a double for Pagan. And coming up, the number 3 hitter, Brandon Belt, and that's going to do it for Eovaldi. So Girardi went as far as he could go with his right-hander, who threw 118 pitches. So Girardi is going to call on Shreve to face Belt. Good performance by Eovaldi. Yankees lead 5-0. Delta, we fly to 135 destinations from JFK and LaGuardia to get you where you're going. Delta, keep climbing. And by Toyota, RAV4 Hybrid is the official hybrid vehicle of the New York Yankees. So Eovaldi throws 118 pitches, the second most in a game in his career, to the 120 we mentioned. And he leaves second and third, 2 outs for Chasen Shreve. And it'll be Shreve against Belt. You see the numbers for Shreve up and down with the Yankees and the AAA Scranton Wilkes-Barre team. One and 0. And the pitch. A swing and a miss. 1-1. So Eovaldi 6 2/3 innings with 7 hits. The runners on base his responsibility. A good performance by Eovaldi. Two and one. Two and two.
Shreve might be facing only one man today. There's a right-hander up in the bullpen. If you've got Buster Posey coming up next, so he's in charge of getting the final out here in the top of the 7th, and that'd probably be it for him. Although the Giants do have, after Posey, they got some left-hand hitters, a couple of them. So there's Chad Green. We were talking about him being available today.
A weird pitch here, Kenny, because you come into the bullpen as a lefty. Your job is to get lefties out. But you know you've got a base open too. But you know you're, like you said, you're facing one hitter here, so you're not pitching around him at any point.
Runners lead off second and third. 2 outs, 3-2 count on Belt. And the pitch. And he walks Belt to load the bases. And that is the only batter that Shreve is going to face. So with the dangerous all-star Buster Posey coming up, Joe Girardi will go to Chad Green. The youngster comes on in a big situation with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Set. The starting pitchers tomorrow brought to you by Fios. Fios is not cable, We're wired differently. Visit getbios.com. Michael Pineda will go up against Dallas Keuchel. Yankees always struggle against Keuchel. They lost him in the one-game wild card last year. 6-9, 4.7 OR. Coverage will begin at 7:30 p.m. on Yes, and the game's going to be at 8 p.m. on Pix 11. So make a note of that. The other two games will be on Yes, Tuesday and Wednesday night.
Well, Keuchel's certainly not having the year he had last year. He won the Cy Young.
Astros as a team got off to a terrible start, but they've made quite a run closing in on the Rangers. See the numbers on Chad Green. So a big spot for the youngster facing Buster Posey with the bases loaded and 2 outs. 5-0 Yankees were in the 7th. 0-1.
Green throwed some good stuff the other day, Michael, when he came in. A short little slider. Not just an average fastball. Had a little life on it.
Swing and a miss. 96. There's a life Paul's talking about.
That one kind of ran in on Posey after the first slider was away. So two good pitches in different areas of the strike zone.
And the 0-2. Check swing, foul back.
Good job of McCann. I mean, you got Buster Posey up there 2-0 or 0-2. You don't want to make a mistake. He intentionally gave him way out of the strike zone target.
Missed outside.
Wow, 99. And I was just going to say, that's kind of one of these defining moments for younger guys. Joe Girardi, you're in the 7th inning. Buster Posey at the plate. Big time, big situation. Let's see what you do.
Well, he's used to being in a starting role, but right now, just let it go.
1-2. 2-2.
Got to 0-2, and then you made a couple, and then you overthrew the slider. So you've got to be able to hold that, that focus of just making a good pitch, not trying to overdo it and make the perfect pitch. Now you've let Posey back into this count at 2-2.
And McCann wants to make certain what they're going to throw. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Yankees lead 5-0. Bases loaded for the Giants.
I think this is a verbal sign. When McCann gets back behind the plate, I don't think he's going to flash any. He's done that once this inning with a man on second.
It's Pagan on second, a veteran. You've got Pena at third, Pagan second, Belt is at first. Former MVP Buster Posey at the plate. 2-2. 98. This is as hard as we've seen Green throw.
That was a good swing by Posey, a good pitch to hit too. In this situation back in Cincinnati, see him foul this back. Cincinnati was up to eliminate the Giants. Buster Posey hit a grand slam in the playoffs off Matt Latos, and he ended up going and on winning the World Series.
Two. Grounded. Pass to Sharon down the right field line. That'll score 2. Belt will move to third. It's a 2-run single for Posey. Kind of an excuse me ground ball. And the Giants are on the board. Yankees now up by a score 5-2.
Posey just went with it. Kind of cut down his swing. And Teixeira off the line. It looked like it was a pretty good pitch. Down and away. Might have been even off this plate. But Posey not taking any chances with 2 strikes. It's close. And as Michael said, kind of an excuse me swing, but he gets the ball right down the line. No chance for Teixeira. And the Giants going to pick up 2 runs.
Well, here's Crawford. He is 1 for 3. So now you've got Belt at third, Posey at first, held there by Teixeira. Didi is shaded up the middle. And there's a strike to Brandon Crawford.
It's just amazing to me, Kenny, how much we've seen it, how strike 1, strike 2 is so easy for some of these pitchers, and then you cannot put hitters away. And you can't fault Green for that last hit. I mean, he threw a good pitch.
I think that was a ball.
Yeah. Go again, 0-2. Now, I mean, nothing should change. I mean, continually be aggressive, make good pitches. Don't try to squeeze it a little tighter, make that perfect pitch, and all of a sudden you're back in that deep count again.
The 0-2. Grounded to first. Teixeira stays with a tough hop. Steps on the bag to retire Crawford, and that will do it. But the Giants get 2 runs on 3 hits. No errors and 2 runners left on base. At the end of 6.5. Get up and stretch. Yankees 5 and the Giants 2. But we're going to stay right here to honor America in the Bronx. List, he probably wanted one more out of him to get through the 7th, but he'll take what he got. Time for the game summary, brought to you by your local Nissan dealer. 5-8-0 Yanks, 2-8-0 for the Giants. Samardzija lasted 5 2/3. Eovaldi an inning more than that. Beltran and Teixeira each with solo home runs, and Buster Posey's 2-run single against Chad Green, the only scoring for the Giants. So Chase Headley leads off against George Contos and swings and misses. Contos got out of the 6th inning with runners on 2nd and 3rd and 2 outs. Headley, Hicks, and Gardner here in the bottom of the 7th. The Yankees up 5-2. Good way to stay cool. GMC scoreboard 5-2. Yankees over the Giants. You know, to this day, they still call the football team the New York Football Giants. Yeah. And the reason is because there used to be a New York Giants baseball team. And even though the Giants are in San Francisco now, people still call them the New York Football Giants.
Headley didn't think so, as Larry Vanover said he went around too far. The New York Football Giants. What do you think, Paul?
That's a tough one.
I didn't think so.
It's the 50-50 right there that you went against you.
Each team with 8 hits. Giants are just looking forward to getting on that plane and heading to San Francisco. It's been an awful road trip for them. Their only win yesterday. And it took 12 innings. Strike 3, Headley down looking. Here's Hicks, 1 for 1 with a walk. Scored a run. Tap back to Contos. Underhands it to Belt. 2 outs.
Once in a while, as a hitter, you're kind of in between, not knowing, you know, it's just your concentration is not. And these are the kind of at bats you have, kind of a hanging slider, and you're just caught in the middle of nowhere. You hit that 3-hopper back to the pitcher, and the at bat is over.
There's a couple of things I hated. That foul tipping into the catcher's glove.
Yeah.
Yeah, on 3rd strike.
Pop out to the infield with a man on 3rd used to always get to me a little bit.
I tried not to do that.
Here's Gardner. He's 1 for 3. Pitch outside from Contos.
Interesting to see if Joe Girardi, if Green comes out there and, you know, continues to throw good stuff, just to see if he'll finish this game out.
Well, the length certainly shouldn't bother him. He's been a starter. But would he entrust him with getting those final 3 outs of a, at this point, save situation, 3 runs? I don't know what his options are out there. If he's not going to use the big 3, he can go to Schwarzik again. 1 and 2. Yankees have Richard Blyer out there and Schwarzik. Those are the only 2 other than the big 3 available after Green.
That kind of tells you that Green's going to be in there, doesn't it?
Yep.
Schwarzik pitched yesterday. Blyer did too.
Three and 2. Bottom of the 7th inning, 5-2 Yankees, 2 outs, nobody on. Gardner at the plate, and the righty Contos deals. Fly ball right field. Williamson makes the play, and that will do it as the Yankees go down in order. That's their former teammate. We go to the 8th. It's 5-2 Yanks. Sports Go is now available for Fios and Frontier customers, so if you can't catch the Yankees on TV, now you can stream them live on your mobile device wherever you go. Just download the app and sign in with your subscriber information. Fox Sports Go is available for DirecTV, Optimum, Time Warner Cable, and now Fios and Frontier customers. Connor Gillespie takes a ball from Chad Green as we start the 8th inning. Hyundai scoreboard, 5-2 Yankees lead. Foul back, 1-1.
Thinking back to the game that Green pitched in San Diego, picked up his first major league win. That day, it's pretty dominating of a Padre lineup. He was using a cutter, something he didn't have his first time around with the Yankees. I talked to him about it, and he said that, you know, I kind of give him credit because he went down after getting hit pretty hard in Arizona. Michael and I did that game, and he worked on it. Got back to the big leagues. Looked pretty good against the San Diego Padres out there on the West Coast. That was the only game the Yankees won in that series.
Three and two. Boy, we've had a series of a lot of 3-2 counts. Gillespie's 1 for 2 with a walk today. Foul back.
Yeah, the numbers on Green that day: 6 innings, 8 strikeouts, no walks, 3 hits and 1 run. He was strong.
just saw a lady down there in a Yankee shirt with a boot on, like a cast, just out wrestle a Giants fan. So you got to root for those Yankee fans down in the stands there. Target practice up here.
Just got a piece to stay alive. Grounded to Headley. Makes the play, one away.
It's a weird game for you, Mike. Yes. Grounded, you got to figure out where the shift is going. Grounded to Headley over at second base as he jogs back to third base.
Chad Green stayed with him through strike after strike, and Gillespie was fouling pitches off. And of course, any pitcher will tell you the key to an inning is getting that first guy out. Even if somebody gets on, you're one pitch away from getting out of the inning on a double play ball.
Here's Mac Williamson. Breaking ball. Inside, 1-0. Williamson, 1 for 3 today. Singles to left, fouled out to Teixeira with runners on second and third. Back bases loaded with 1 out. And then he grounded back to the mound in the 6th.
I'll tell you what, it's impressive. You see that sharp slider when he throws a good one, and then, you know, he's topping out at 99. That's good stuff from a guy that's still trying to learn how to pitch.
Coming on is Hicks, and he can't hold on. He cannot hold on. He had it in the glove, and as he rolled over, he could not hold on, so Williamson reaches.
The 2-second rule here. Let me see here. Got it, got it, got it. Oh, still got it. That's a catch. He was coming out to double him up.
Joe Girardi's thinking about challenging, and now he does not.
Well, the play continues. Once you start to roll over, the play is not quite finished. I mean, you have to show control, and he has it up until about right there. Ball's coming out. The ball is dislodged.
This is what happens to me in fantasy football every year. I got a guy that catches a touchdown, and this happens, and the replay doesn't give me the benefit, and I lose. Big draft's coming up soon.
You can feel it. Pena swings and misses.
Another look. I thought he was going to make the play. It looked like you know, he did have the glove underneath the ball, but all that tumbling over just couldn't hang on.
And never got it in the deep part of the pocket where it stays in there.
Looked like he had it in the heel.
Grounded to Castro. Green covering. Got him. Throw to third. Wow. Got him. A double play. So the Yankees, with sparkling defense, turn a double play. I think it scored 4-1-5. And Bruce Bochy is thinking about challenging the play at first. And how about the play at third? So it's a double play right now, unless the Giants challenge, and I have to take another look at it. Well, he's out at first for sure.
Yep.
And they are not challenging. So a 4-1-5 double play ends the 8th inning for the Yankees. So Green alertly fires over to Headley, and Headley applies a tag on Williamson. All right, we go to the bottom of the 8th. Jacoby Ellsbury leads off. So the Hyundai scoreboard shows the Yankees up 5-2, and the top of the 8th inning ends on a very routine 4-1-5 double play.
An exciting play for you, Mike. I was just kind of cool you tested your pipes there.
Count 2-0.
Yeah, good play by Castro. Excellent play by Green on the 2 counts, getting over, covering. He's a pretty big target, about 6'4", but then being heads up, looking to see where the base runner, and fired a strike over to Headley.
That's the thing. I mean, you can challenge some guys without good arms. Pitchers usually have pretty good arms.
Teixeira just eludes him, but not Castro. Excellent throw, and here's a strike. 1 hop, boom. Williamson done at 3rd, inning over.
Also, what made the play by Castro even better is it looked like it ticked off the glove of Teixeira, so kind of redirected it just a bit.
As he's spinning over there, he's just throwing to an area. You know, Green's not even there yet, which is a tough thing to do, and it's just a great play by Castro to start that double play.
Two and 2 on Ellsbury. Ellsbury, Beltran, and McCann.
You know, now that Ellsbury's broken the record for catcher's interference, you would think the word has gotten around.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that the catchers either hang back just a little bit more.
Don't reach for that ball.
No, nah, because he has a way of leaning back when he swings.
Swing and a miss. Ellsbury down on strikes. Hey, today after the postgame, catch an all-new episode of WB Mason Presents the Joe Girardi Show and get the skipper's inside scoop on what base runners chat about with the opposing team's first baseman. Plus, take a look back at this big homestand. That's tomorrow at 5 and after the postgame today only on Yes. Paul, what did you talk about with first baseman?
You know, it's funny. I was just thinking that as you said that, and some guys would, you know, you'd get into hitting a little bit, and then I remember Jason Giambi. How's the fam? Well, you don't even know my fam. Why are you asking me that? But you know, Frank Thomas would talk about hitting, and Palmeiro would talk about hitting, and usually it was something to go around, you know, what was going on at the plate and things like that.
Now, did you get snippy with Giambi so you don't know my family?
Everything's great. How's your fam?
Slide ball left field off the bat of Beltran. Pagana's there.
Under your breath, it's like, what are you asking about my family for? You know something I don't?
That's right. Who are you?
I'm out here in Oakland, man. My family's at home. You know something?
Then after the game, you call Neville. You know Jason Giambi? Who were the best talkers at first in your day, Kenny?
Well, George Scott was pretty good, but he wasn't talking about he was talking about how bad his own pitching was.
Yeah. Cecil Fielder did that one time to me.
How'd you get down here? You've been here a lot this series.
I remember one time getting to first base in Detroit and Cecil Fielder, and I think he misunderstood me about what I said. Something was nasty, and he's like, boy, I'd like to hit off of him. And he was talking about his own pitching.
1-1 on McCann. Brian is 1 for 3 with a run scored today. Yankees lead 5-2 in the bottom of the 8th.
Coming up on a milestone. Tony Perez was playing for Boston. And I said, I really get, the season's running out. I need to get 100 RBIs. You'll have it by the time you leave here.
Was he right?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, there are certain numbers that are just
you go for them.
benchmarks that you need to have. Those old Oriole teams, I mean, you driving in 100, Eddie Murray, obviously. Any other guys up there with 100 every year?
When Cal Ripken got there.
Okay.
Yeah, when he got there. Lee May.
Oh, now he's got to be
oh.
one of the funniest guys to ever talk to at first base.
My goodness, he's a funny man.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bottom of the 8th. McCann against Contos. Contos on a relief of the starter, Samardzija. Grounded, right side. Gillespie makes the play, and that will do it. Yankees go down in order 1, 2, 3. It's up to Chad Green to try to get the final 3 outs. Yankees lead 5-2. Lorenz is back in the studio to wrap up the set with Chicago. Plus, Meredith Marakovitz has the clubhouse report. Also, Jack Curry's around. Don't miss the W.B. Mason Yankees postgame. It's only on Yes. Well, we go to the 9th inning. Yankees lead this one 5-2. And Gregor Blanco is going to pinch hit for Trevor Brown.
Blanco's a pretty good bunter, and they're in on the corners accordingly.
Pinch hitters on the Giants have been something this series. You can at least think of 3 pinch hits off the bench.
Now this one's gutty because you're pinch hitting for your backup catcher. So if you do end up tying the game or going ahead, you lose your DH, as Posey would have to be back behind the plate. Just for fun, the 8th inning ended on a 4-1-5 double play. So James Smythe, who does our information here in the booth, checked with Baseball Reference, which has play-by-play data going back into the 1930s, and he has not been able to find one Yankee double play 4-1-5 ever since that time. That one ripped the right field. It's a foul ball. The last 4-1 anything double play by the Yankees was in July of 1973 in Minnesota. Jerry Terrell was at second with 1 out. Tony Oliva grounded to Horace Clark, who threw to Fred Bean covering. Bean then fired and threw a strike to Thurman Munson, who applied the tag on Jerry Terrell, and it was a 4-1-2 double play, but never 4-1-5 in all the information that it goes back into the 30s.
Well, strangely enough, 415 is the area code for San Francisco.
Wow.
Yeah, look at that.
How about that? Tying it all together. As Blanco down looking, and he does not like the call.
Took us 9 innings, but we're tying it all together, Michael. Tell you what, I've been impressed with Green the last couple of times. I mean, he's a little confidence, and he's going to be good. That ball up again in the strike zone. The second ball you've seen called up there today. Got the plate, but just in the upper part of the strike zone where people aren't used to seeing it called.
Once again, in on the corners, Bernard Span can bunt, although he hasn't shown one this series.
Pitch is low, 1-0. So Green, if he does finish this out, what a pickup for the Yankees. A pick me up for the Yankees because they just didn't have the big three available. And now you rest them and you go to Houston, and they'll be available tomorrow. Richard Blyer up just in case. I guess if he gets the belt. Fly ball center field. Ellsbury makes the play. The Giants are down to their final out.
I'll tell you what, you see something that has changed in baseball, and it's right there. 2-0 count, you're down 3 runs, and you swing at a 2-0 pitch. I mean, that's just something that has changed in baseball. That was an automatic take. You're looking for a walk. You're trying to get that tying run to the plate.
Usually the third base coach hold up one finger.
Yeah.
So take a pitch. They didn't care whether the pitcher saw it or not.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
Sometimes they wanted him to see it.
Yeah, put the pressure on him even more.
Pagan takes outside, 1-0. Green got the final out of the 7th. Did give up a 2-run single, though, to Posey. Then a scoreless 8th. And now 2 outs here in the 9th, trying to close it out. And the 1-0. Strike.
If he can become the guy that can throw that breaking ball in fastball counts, he's only going to be more successful quicker. I mean, that's what changes minor league pitchers to major league pitchers. It's being able to throw your off-speed stuff in fastball counts for strikes.
And the Giants down to their final strike. Pagan is 2 for 4 today with a double and a triple and a run scored. And the 1-2. Served into left field. It's a base hit as the Giants stay alive. 3 hits for Pagan.
And he's had himself a very good day.
Using the left side of the field. He grounded one right down the line, and here, you know, with 2 strikes, you're kind of in defensive mode. Larry Rothschild going to go out and make sure Green realizes he needs 1 good pitch to get out of here. But those are the hitters that you look at Pagan that, to me, make good teams. I mean, they're just tough outs. They put the ball in play.
This is a guy you want to get out. You don't want that tying run coming to the plate. And it's been one of those days for Belt. He's got a no contact afternoon. 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. But he has struck out something like 6 times in this series. 3, 2, 5. Make it 7. He struck out 7 times in this series. So he hasn't had a good series. And you want it to continue right here.
He's been on a real cold streak. 2 for his last 32. And a strike. There's that fastball from Green. Runner goes, and they'll let him get there. Defensive indifference. They weren't even holding. So what that does is it eliminates a force on maybe a ball hit up the middle. So Swarzak and Blyer are up just in case. Swing and a miss. Pagan will go to third on defensive indifference.
You know, he could steal home at this point and the Yankees wouldn't care. Just get this last out.
Again, Yankees a strike away from the win. They're up 5-2. The Giants about hit them 10-8. The Yankees lead 5-2. The rookie Green leans in. Now steps off.
He could double up that last slider that was down and in. Tough pitch for a lefty to handle. Yeah, he did. He tried it again. Belt took this one. It's a good pitch location, though. That ball never was able. You were never able to put the barrel on the bat of that ball and keep it fair. Didn't do anything to it.
3 infielders on the right side for the Yankees against the lefty swinging Belt. Pagan leads off third. 2 outs, top of the 9th, 5-2 Yankees. And the 2-2. This should do it. A ground ball to Castro. Over to Teixeira, and the Yankees win 5-2. Great job by Chad Green. A good start for Nathan Eovaldi, and the Giants are just glad to be heading home. An awful road trip for them. And the Yankees homestand, where they needed to declare themselves, 6-4. So they lose 2 out of 3 to the Red Sox. They win 3 out of 4 from the Orioles, and they take 2 out of 3 from the San Francisco Giants, and now head to Houston. And we head to the studio where Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry will set the table for the rest of the show.